Welcome back to Chamber Exchange, the TV show. I want to thank our sponsors who helped make the show happen. That's Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital. Very pleased to have with us in our second segment, Chris Michelotti, who is the chair of the Worcester Arts Council. Chris,
thanks for having me.
Great for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, let's maybe pick up a little bit on the conversation we had a little while back and
Sure.
then talked about you coming on the show. But maybe you could tell our viewers what the Worcester Arts Council is.
Yeah, so the Worcester Arts Council, is a group of volunteers that is appointed by the city manager.
So it's a city board or council?
Yes, sir.
The city sets up via regulations or statute?
Yeah, we're associated with the city, and then we are connected with the MCC, which is the state umbrella group that operates
the Mass Cultural Council?
Yeah, the Mass Cultural Council. So it operates hundreds of different LCCs or local creative councils around the state, and so we're one of those.
Right, and so the city has it. Hopefully that means they put some resources into it, but also the state entity, which gets funded out of the state budget, Mass Cultural Council, also works to some funding. Yeah,
city definitely gives us a lot of support, personnel support. We have someone in the office that works with us and represents us to the city, and so that's a lot of the city on their part.
And how many on the council?
So there are 9 seats on the council. Currently, we do have 1 vacancy. And so if anybody's interested, we are looking.
Is it a citywide or is it district?
So it is going to be citywide for those of us who are on the council.
Okay. So anyone who's in the city of Worcester has an interest in the arts, understands the important role that it plays, they apply to the Citizens Advisory Council?
Yeah, absolutely. So you go through the Citizen Advisory Council, and then you're going to go through a meeting with Fabian, who's the head of the Cultural Development Office. And then you go to your final interview, which is with the city manager himself.
Okay.
So,
and people can go on the city website and find out about that. So, always know good people on the boards and councils. So, with the your co-council members, kind of what's the work you do? When you meet, what are the subjects, and how do you work with the city and partners?
Yeah, so when we get together as a council, we are talking about just what the art scene as a whole is in Worcester. What does it look like? Our main focus really is how do we divvy up those grants to the local artists in the area. This year we did 51 grants, including 4 fellowships, about $5,000 each for everybody. We did a little over $235,000 in grants this year. So we're in that period now where we're going to be celebrating all the people who did receive grants and getting the word out and educating people on how they can apply, because we'd like to see more people.
Yeah. Well, it's been talked about. I mean, people talk about the momentum and the transformation that Worcester's experienced over the last, 15, 20, 25 years. Mm-hmm. I've said to many people, and I'm not the only one that has said it, so the arts and cultural community, big, small, and in between, have played such a huge role in that kind of experience that people have and people coming to the city. How do you kind of balance, $5,000 is a significant grant, especially for some of the smaller organizations or kind of individual artists. That's important. And how do you make sure that maybe groups and organizations that are new to the city or that traditionally have not been beneficiaries of of some of these grants, how do you reach out to you've got a diverse pool of applications to consider?
Yeah, no, so in the past, the real focus was put on the survey that we would send out just to get information from the city as a whole. Sadly, that's kind of kept us focused or zoned in on maybe some select zip codes within the city. Yeah. So what we're going to try to do is get more boots on the ground, do more tabling at local events, and really getting into the community and introducing people to what it is we do as far as expanding out the people who are applying for the grants. And then something that we have not officially voted on, but something that I am pushing for next grant cycle, is to actually separate a certain dollar amount for new grantees, people who have never gotten a grant through the Worcester Arts Council, so that pool will be dedicated, and hopefully we'll be able to introduce more people into the grant cycle.
And that kind of prevents the same old, right? People just, you keep fresh. And so in your time on the council, what have you been really happy or proud with? Where do you think there are gaps, and how do we keep the Worcester art scene fresh, exciting, vibrant, relevant?
Yeah, no, I think that, so my time on the council, the previous councils, one of the things that I'm genuinely appreciative of what they've done for us is this thing called direct granting, where that opens up the opportunity for so many people, because in the past, you would have to have that kind of money on hand to spend and then wait to get reimbursed. And this is going to be a way to make it more equitable for people to actually come in and say, this is my idea, this is my dream, and we just give them the money for it.
Right. They're not,
Yeah, they don't have to wait for it. As to the art scene as a whole, honestly, the reason why I moved to Worcester and bought my first house here was because of the art scene, the arts community. This is a really vibrant community. It's a really welcoming community, even in the art side. I would like to see us support each other more. And I think you see that, you see different groups of artists really coming around one another, and I just want to see more of that moving forward. And I'd like to see more partnerships with, say, like local businesses and organizations, and figuring out ways that we can get our artists connected with these larger groups.
Right, right. And you mentioned the city's cultural development officer, kind of that interplay there. How does that work?
So for me, at least, in each chair is going to be different, and different development officers are going to be different as well. Right. But Fabian has done a great job with us, and for me, I set aside 2 Mondays a month where I actually go into City Hall and I'm in the office, and I leave office hours for artists and organizations to come in and meet with me, ask questions, and allow for just more communication for everybody.
Right.
And just a lot of guidance, a lot of great advice that I get on how to better connect with different organizations and who I should be connecting with.
Right, right. And that position, this commitment by the city, recognizing the importance of kind of arts culture, kind of writ large, and all of its forms, is really important to the well-being and kind of the energy in a city, and obviously that's economic development too, but just the human condition, celebrating it, and that's not every municipality focuses on that.
No, absolutely. And something I like to remind people of too is, like, as we focus on bringing more people into this city, we're going to need to have more things for them to do.
Exactly.
Not everybody's going to be able to, or have the energy to go to Boston to experience culture every weekend. Not everybody's going to want to have to leave Worcester. So Worcester's going to need, as a whole, as a community, to step up and offer things for people to do. And that's one of the gifts, I think, as artists and as organizers, that we get to give, is that there are people that keep the machine running, right? They keep the system going, and then we give them reason to keep it going.
Right. Well, in 2019, Chamber, we did a housing study, and it projected by 2030 we're going to have 8% growth, and that's 15,000 people, and so it's also an access issue too, right? Not everybody can afford to go into Boston or other places. So if we can have stuff that's local, relevant, and that appeals to a cross section of people, that's the mission, right? And
good, and like local, relevant, and quality.
Yeah.
That's something that I really want to emphasize as well. In the past, they have done a lot of partial grant funding. And something that I pushed for really hard in this last grant cycle, and I want to continue to do, is full grant funding. I don't think it should be on the creators to have to struggle and figure out how to make things work. I want them to have precisely what they need
to focus on
the actual art and the project and the event that they're doing.
So Chris, great conversation here. If people want to learn more, where can they go? If they want to follow up with you, artists out there.
Yeah. The Worcester Arts Council has an Instagram profile. Just follow us on Instagram. You can follow me and reach out to me. I'm always available to talk to people. And again, if you are interested in joining the council, on the Worcester page, government page, you can find ways to do that.
All right, Chris Michelotti, Chair of the Worcester Arts Council. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much, Tim.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. Why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.